Hey, it's Coach Justin from Ultimate Baseball Training, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things you need to be doing every single time you get on base. This can serve as your base running checklist. So you just got a base hit, you're standing on first base, you can just run through these 5 steps, and when you do that, you're going to have so much more confidence as a base runner. You're going to be able to get a great secondary lead that allows you to go from first to third or from second to home and score runs for your team. You're going to be able to read balls down in the dirt and advance and ultimately get into scoring position and help your team that way. What we're really doing is we're trying to anticipate what's about to happen before it actually happens. So I'm telling you the name of the game. You want to be a good base runner. You want to get into scoring position. You want to score runs. You want to help your team win. That's what great teammates do, and that's what this 5-step checklist is going to help you do as well. So I think you're going to enjoy it. Let's jump into these 5 steps. Okay, so the first thing, step 1, I just crushed a base hit. I'm probably going to come back to the base after rounding it hard, and I'm probably going to give my coach a little fist bump, right? Because I just got a base hit, that's awesome. So give him a fist bump, don't leave him hanging, and then from there, my foot is obviously on the base, and step 1 is we need to check the outfielder's positioning. We just need to get a general, consensus on where are they at, and is there anything that's abnormal? So I'm just going to do a quick scan. This is not something where you're staring out in the outfield for 30 seconds or anything like that. All I'm doing is I'm taking a quick look, I'm scanning the outfield back and forth a couple times, and I'm seeing, okay, where is everyone playing? Are they playing, pretty much in a normal position, which most of the time they will be? Are they, playing a little bit shallow? Are they playing a little bit deep? That's something you can think about. You can also think about, okay, who has a really good arm? Who has the best arm in the outfield? Because you should have been paying attention in their pregame, infield, outfield at, who has a good arm and who has maybe not so good of an arm that you can run on, right? So scanning, positioning, okay, they look in a normal position. I think that right fielder probably has the best arm. He throws it pretty good. The center fielder has a pretty good arm. Left fielder, maybe his arm's a little bit weaker. And you're really just trying to get a gauge on where things are at, because that's going to allow you to anticipate, okay, if they're playing deep, maybe that changes my plan a little bit. If they're playing shallow and I know that the hitter at the plate crushes a ball over their head, maybe instead of thinking, going from first to third, maybe in that position, I'm thinking about, I'm running hard, I'm trying to score because they're playing so shallow. So that's the first step. Just scan the outfield, see their positioning, see who has the strongest arm, who you can potentially run on, and who you want to be a little bit more careful with. All right, so after I've checked the outfielder's positioning, now comes step 2, and that is I need to think about the situation. So first of all, how many outs are there? Maybe I was the leadoff hitter in the inning, so there's nobody out, right? Because I got a base hit, no outs, okay? Is there anybody else on base? Well, I'm the leadoff hitter, so no, there's nobody on base. So outs and the situation in terms of, who's on base. And then really what you need to, play in your mind is, what am I doing when the ball is put in play, okay? So on a ground ball, what am I doing? On a line drive, what am I doing? On a fly ball, what am I doing? And think about, different areas of the field, what am I doing? Just run through a few different scenarios. That way you're not guessing when the worst thing is, take your secondary lead and the ball's hit and you've kind of got to freeze because you have to think about what you're doing. That's what we want to try to avoid here. We just want to go. We want to see the ball put in play and, ground ball, follow your plan. Line drive, follow your plan. Fly ball, follow your plan, right? So on a ground ball, like I said, I'm the leadoff hitter, got a base hit, nobody on base, nobody out, guy walks up to the plate. What am I thinking, okay? All right, well, we just talked about what I'm thinking in terms of their positioning. They're pretty much in a normal position, right? Situation, nobody out, nobody on base. So what am I doing? Ground ball. Ground ball, if he hits a ground ball, I'm gone, right? I got to go. Ground ball, I'm gone. Line drive, I got to freeze, right? Because if he hits a line drive, let's say to the shortstop, I got to freeze because if he makes that catch, makes the play, I got to get back, right? So ground ball, gone. Line drive, I got to freeze. And then fly ball, maybe I go halfway, right? Maybe on a super deep fly ball, and this is all something you can think about, on a really deep fly ball, crushed to the warning track, maybe depending on where it's at, depending on the dimensions of the field, maybe instead of going halfway, maybe I have an opportunity there to tag up, and maybe I can advance and get into scoring position. But it's so much easier when you think about these situations beforehand rather than once the ball is put in play and then trying to think your way through it. Do all your thinking beforehand. Check their positioning and then think about the situation. So those first 2 steps, although I took a couple minutes to go through that, they really happen rapidly. You get your base hit right, you do a good turn, maybe give your coach fist bump, right? Then you check your outfielder's positioning, you think about the situation, okay, now I know what I'm doing. Then I lock my eyes on the third base coach because now it's time for step 3, and that is you've got to get the signs, right? Get the signs from the third base coach. And I'll tell you this, if you're looking to play baseball at a high level, you cannot afford to miss signs. It is doing your team a disservice when you miss a sign and you do not execute the play. That's being a bad teammate. So never miss signs. And if you ever do miss a sign or you think you might have missed something you didn't quite see, tell your coach to do it again, right? There's a reason why we conceal our signs and we don't just say, hey, steal here, hit and run here. There's a reason we do signs. The opponent should not know what your signs are, obviously, so there's no harm in, telling him run through them one more time, right? But you want to avoid that. So one key tip that I have for you when it comes to getting the signs and never missing them, you see coaches, third base coaches, do a million different things, right? They're touching all over, they're swiping everywhere, right? And if you try to follow everything, you might get kind of lost. So what I recommend is focus on the indicator. That's the tip. So every single team, you're going to have an indicator. So it could be, your cap. So your cap, and then the sign immediately after that is the sign. So it could be, B, belt, bunt. Maybe that might make sense. So cap, and then immediately to your belt, that's a bunt. Maybe a steal is cap, and then he swipes, his legs. If he touches his legs immediately after that, maybe that's steal. But whatever it is, whatever your indicator, whether it's the cap, whether it's across the chest like this, it does not matter. Just focus on that. Everything else, he could be standing there doing anything. He could be doing the chicken dance, and it does not matter until he touches that indicator. So don't focus on everything else he's got going on. Focus on that indicator and then just follow the sign immediately after, and you'll never miss signs. And then just be sure once you get the sign, okay, don't just immediately he goes cap and then belt and you're thinking, okay, bunt, and he's still running through signs and then you turn your head. No, don't do that. Keep your eyes locked on him, and you want to make sure that you do that so the other team doesn't pick up on signs. But also, at the end, he might wipe it off. So we want to make sure that we're not missing anything. All right, so we've got our signs. Great. Now it's time for step 4, and that is we got to take a lead. You want to take a good lead. You want to get out to a good distance to where if there's a ball put in play, you're out there at a good distance where you can make the most of it, whether that means going first to third or first to home or whatever. But you also want to be at a safe distance to where if he picks over, you can still get back. So that's kind of the name of the game. How do we take a lead? There's a little bit of different schools of thought on this. I personally, first of all, you should be on the back corner of the base. And then I always like to do right, left, right. So what I mean by that is right, left, right. Now some people say, well, if you go, right, left, then if he picks over, my body's kind of going this way, my shoulders are going this way, and I'm going to have a hard time getting back. Well, I think, first of all, you're only a step away from the base, so I really don't think that's going to be an issue. But to get rid of that, right, just go right, and with your left, you need to start almost rotating your shoulders towards the plate. So don't have your shoulders going towards second base. Start out, back corner of the base, right, and as I go into this, right, left, right, you see how I'm kind of closing myself off there? Okay? I think that's better than going left, right, and then if I go left, then I'm further away from the base. It's going to be harder for me to get back. Okay, so the footwork is right, left, right. So now I'm closed off. Now I can get back if he picks over. Right, left, right. And then we're going to take, 2 to 3 more steps after that. We're leading with our front foot. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now I want to get out distance-wise. It kind of depends on your age level and, your size and your speed. And there's a lot of factors that go into play, but really the proper distance is you want it to be a crossover step and a dive. If you can be a step and a dive away, then that's perfect distance. You don't want to be 2 steps though, you're going to get picked off. Okay, so more full speed here, back corner of the base, right, left, right, boom, boom, boom. I'm out a good distance, okay? A couple more tips here is make sure, we want to avoid crossing over as much as possible. We don't want to shuffle out, because if I start shuffling out and he picks off, my momentum's going this way, good luck getting back. And we just never want to get caught off guard in a position that's not athletic. So he picks over, I can get back. Right, left, he picks over, I can get back easily, right? Right, left, right, I'm in an athletic position, I can get back. And the last little tip here is never get caught into an athletic position to where, maybe you bring your feet close together like this. If my feet are close together, it's kind of hard for me to move. So that's why step and drag, step and drag, step and drag. And then if you do decide that he picks over and you've got to get back, remember it's a crossover step, 1 step, and a dive. We're turning our head and we're diving back to the back corner of the base. The reason we're taking our lead off the back and diving back towards the back is the first baseman, for that tag, he has a longer distance to travel as opposed to diving back to the front. All he has to do is catch it and go straight down. So that's how you take a lead to give yourself the best advantage as a base runner. All right, so we've taken a good lead. We're out at a step at a dive distance. Now it's time for the 5th and final step of this checklist, and that is take a good secondary lead. A secondary lead is a huge advantage for you as a baseball player, but unfortunately a lot of players just don't take advantage of a secondary lead, or they don't know how to do it properly, okay? A secondary lead, though, what it's gonna allow you to do is a ball in the dirt that gets away from the catcher, it's gonna allow you to advance. It's also gonna get you in a position to where you gain ground and you have some momentum, so on a base hit, you can go from first to third, or if you're on second base, you can, score from second base, right? So balls in the dirt, we can advance. Base hits, we really have a lot of momentum, and we can get into scoring position. We can score more runs if we get a good secondary lead, okay? So the way it's gonna work, basically you're in your athletic position after you take your lead. Our eyes are locked on the pitcher. We've got to make sure he doesn't pick over. And as soon as he commits to the plate, our eyes are going to shift to the hitting zone. And from there, we're going to take 2 aggressive shuffles. Okay, so he's going to the plate, my eyes shift, and I'm doing 2 aggressive shuffles. I'm staying low to the ground. I'm in an athletic position. And then I've got to be ready to go either way. If it's a base hit, boom, I'm gone this way. If it's not a base hit, then I got to be ready, be prepared to get back this direction, okay? One thing that I want you to pay attention to is the angle of the baseball, okay? So assuming that, he's for sure committed, he's going to the plate, read the ball down. And what I mean by that is if the ball looks like it's going to be in the dirt, you really have to be aggressive with your secondary lead, because if that ball gets underneath the catcher and goes to the screen, or, if it gets away from him far enough, you can advance. So read the ball down in the dirt. But really what we're doing here is we're gaining momentum and we're gaining ground towards our target. The last tip that I'll leave you with here is there's a fine line between being aggressive, being not aggressive enough, and then being silly aggressive. Okay, so we don't want to, not take advantage of a secondary, but we also don't want to be silly. I see that often where players, they either just kind of do this, and that's just wasted movement. You shouldn't do that at all. Or they get silly with it and they find themselves in the middle of the base path. That's not good either. So when he commits to the plate, 2 aggressive shuffles and get ready to go. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please leave it a like. I'd really appreciate that. And subscribe to the channel. That way you never miss any of our upcoming videos we're coming out with. And last thing, I put together an awesome free resource for you. I really think it's gonna help you take your hitting to the next level. It's called the Contact Point Checklist, and you can download it 100% for free. Just click on the link down below in the description. I'll also leave that link for you in the comment section so it's easy to find. But it's called the Contact Point Checklist. I freeze frame the swing at the point of contact, and I've highlighted the key areas that you need to focus on. You need to make sure at the point of contact that your swing includes these things. It'll help you get more hits, increase your batting average, increase your bat speed, hit the ball harder and further, all that good stuff. So I really think it's gonna help you, and it's free. So go ahead and download that right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.